follow-up to all the folks who attended here today. So welcome. We appreciate everyone joining during their lunchtime today to a presentation around artificial intelligence within Salesforce. My name is Forrest Bridges. I'm part of the local leadership team for Salesforce here in the Mid-Atlantic region. I live in Washington, D.C. We've got a couple other folks that are going to be presenting today as well. Patrick Martin, who's a director at Eigen, who's a Salesforce implementation partner that we've worked really closely with, particularly in this space here in the SMB market segment. And then Jake Shively, who's a lead solutions engineer with Salesforce, who's going to be running the demo today. So Patrick, I'll kick off to you to do an introduction of your role with Eigen, how you partner with Salesforce, and what we're going to be covering today from a content perspective. A couple of notes. I'll act as a moderator here. So if there are questions throughout the presentation, feel free to jump into the chat and ask those, and then I can jump in with either Jake or Patrick. And then just as a reminder, if you're not speaking during the presentation, if you could just stay on mute, come off mute if you have a question, or feel free to jump in the chat. But otherwise, we're happy to answer questions throughout. So with that, Patrick, I'll go ahead and hand it off to you.
All right. Thanks, Forrest. Yeah, so as Forrest mentioned, I work here at Eigen. We're a summit-level Salesforce implementation partner headquartered just outside of Philadelphia with offices in New York and Washington, D.C. I've been here around 8 years. We've been a partner with Salesforce for over 10 years now. Also, prior to Salesforce acquiring Tableau, we were a top-tier Tableau partner, which we pretty much still are, but now we're just all under one umbrella as being part of Salesforce. So we work, as Forrest mentioned, we work with the team to help implement, enhance, make sure clients are getting the best value out of their licenses in Salesforce. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the Einstein features, some of the existing Einstein features, a little bit about some of the future Einstein features. But a lot of the conversations I've been having with a lot of the clients right now is everybody wants to know about LLMs and other generative AI features. But at the end of the day, most people aren't really ready to jump at it yet fully. And a lot of the conversations lead to they have buy-in from some executive leader or board where they're supposed to do something with AI. They don't know what. The direction I'm telling a lot of people to look for is if you haven't implemented some of the existing Einstein features that have been around for several years now, you should be looking to implement those. They're kind of already proven out. They're not a beta thing like some of the other Einstein GPT type functions are right now. So you're not going to be too far ahead of the market, but you can get some real actionable insights into your current data sets. Our primary services here at Eigen are, as I mentioned, CRM implementations, primarily focused around the Salesforce platform, analytics primarily focused on Tableau. We do also do some other analytics platforms, but it's primarily Tableau. And then we do all these in an agile manner. We help our clients also transform some of their maybe waterfall type projects more to agile projects to make sure they can quick time to value out of their projects and not waiting months to deliver a large deployment. We also do other various application development in various different stacks. So, as I mentioned, so Salesforce is, you probably all heard the buzz around generative AI and the various clouds that Salesforce offers with Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, Marketing Cloud. There's various generative AI being developed, being implemented, being pulled into those various platforms. Some really cool features out there, help with writing emails, creating content for marketing, enhancements around bots, and various other areas of the Einstein platform. These things are coming. I'm sure you've all heard Salesforce pushing and touting these and talking about these. Some of these are in production as we speak. Others are coming in the next couple quarters. So definitely be aware of these. Keep your eye on these. Keep reading up on these. Keep learning about these. They're going to be really where the future goes to. But one of the things we wanted to really talk about today was some of the, like I mentioned, some of the existing Einstein features. So, there's already a bunch of features around Einstein for sales, revenue intelligence, Einstein for service, marketing. We're not going to go into a bunch of detail, but there's other ones for Lightning Platform, Einstein Analytics, which is CRM Analytics now. It used to be Einstein, very different brandings, commerce and consumer goods cloud, as well as there's Einstein on pretty much every cloud and every industry cloud there are out there. So, the future LLMs are very focused on that language processing, where a lot of these are a little bit more machine learning type predictive AI, and follow some of those older models, but still very important and very extremely useful. Another thing, as Salesforce does move into the generative space, as well as their existing Einstein models, I did want to just bring up that the Einstein GPT trust layer, it does stay within your environment. It's not getting out into the public environment. So your data is not shared with the external world. So once these features are implemented or come into your models, they're tied solely to your data. So that data is secure, it's safe. So those should be taken into consideration, but are not big issues with this. As I mentioned, these are some of the features depending on what level of licensing you have, but a lot of these features are readily available right now. So these kind of cover some of the revenue intelligence pieces. We're going to Jake's going to go into giving some demos on these. This goes into sales forecasting, some sales coaching and training, pipeline analysis, Einstein activity capture, Einstein deal insights. There's a lot here around the revenue intelligence that's already existing, that's tied to Einstein. Going to Einstein for sales, some of the features that Jake's going to go into are things like Einstein lead scoring, Einstein opportunity scoring. If you have, a couple hundred or 1,000 plus leads or opportunities, with a pretty simple configuration and clicks of a few buttons, you can configure the lead and opportunity scoring. We've seen really great value out of this with our existing clients. It helps you basically prioritize your leads. Your inside sales, your BDRs can prioritize leads based on additional information that's on those leads. It could be things like interactions they're doing with marketing. It may be geographically information. It could be size of a company or other attributes that you have on your opportunities, your leads, that really kind of help you tell which opportunities are most likely to close, which leads are most likely to convert to opportunities and actually turn to a closed won state. Similar to some of the features with pipeline inspection. These are all features that are out there right now. They're really useful. They're really helpful. We've implemented these for various customers, various industries of various sizes, and they've all seen great value out of these. Implementing them, usually kind of having a rollout strategy, also a data analysis to make sure your existing data is really what you want to be feeding into these models, are all things that we can help with. One of the things that I say with a lot of the machine learning, a lot of the AI type features, let it be these old machine learning or older machine learning type models, or some of the new LLMs, a lot of it's more about quality of data than quantity of data. If you have bad data in your system, it's better to clean, purge that, make sure you have the right information in there first. All these models are going to learn and predict based on what you're feeding them. So if you're feeding them bad data, they're going to predict bad data. So that's a large area that we usually help a lot of clients with, and get those kind of pieces of their core data and their existing data into a good shape before turning on some of these features, and then help with rolling it out, make sure it's getting used properly, make sure teams are getting the best value out of these features and as possible. But as I mentioned, a lot of it comes down to data quality, data governance first. The next thing that Jake's going to go into is some of the Einstein for Service. So we've also implemented a lot of Einstein bots. The bots have been around. They've existed for a while. If you have a good curated knowledge base and a bunch of information, let it be, it needs to be stored in the Salesforce knowledge. But if you have knowledge elsewhere on existing web pages or throughout your company through like a Wikipedia site or anything like that, it's great content that you can cut over to your Salesforce knowledge. Your bots can basically read that data. Humans can interact with those bots. I've seen, really great uses for those. It's really helped customer service agents do more robust things in their jobs. Some of the clients we've worked with in there, they've had, large customer service teams. The teams get worried that a bot's going to take over their job. It does take over some of their lesser important tasks to their job. But then, what I've seen the stronger management teams do is reposition some of their team to write better knowledge articles, create more reports to understand more about the data and analytics, make sure the bots are working properly, make sure it's really getting the customers what they want, which then really makes the human side of it more interesting and more powerful. They feel more utilized. They feel like they're doing something more powerful. They're not just doing a kind of a monotonous job. They're learning with the company, which is a great way to think about how all these things can, retrain and repurpose the people behind these jobs. Those people shouldn't go away. They just need to be repurposed in a different way to work better and smarter. And then the other area to mention is the marketing, Einstein for marketing. There's things like engagement scores, Einstein copy insights. There's plenty of features here in the marketing front that can help enhance your content, enhance the time time that emails are delivered for the best click and open rates, and same with the content there. Jake, I think that's where the point. I'm going to hand it off to you for start your demo.
Perfect. Sounds good. Appreciate that lead up here, Patrick. Let me go ahead and get my screen share, and we can dive right into the demonstration here. All right, perfect. So before we actually dive into the demo today, I wanted to quickly set the stage for the flow of our presentation. So if you actually think of this demo as a book, we're really going to be following 4 main chapters. The first chapter here, we're going to be taking a look at some of the AI solutions that are available today for use across your sales organization. So in this specific use case and story we're telling, we're going to be following on and focusing on how Einstein can help enable internal collaboration between sales management and the sales reps. So we're really going to be focusing on things like reporting, account metrics, and customer interaction insight tools, again, all powered by Einstein. There'll be 2 main personas that we're following during this chapter. Wanda is going to be the first persona, and she plays the role of our sales manager at a company called Cirrus, followed up by Vanessa, who is going to be our sales rep at Cirrus. In the second chapter here, we're going to take a look at how Einstein can help your reps prioritize their time, increase probability to win, and then have an overall better grasp on their accounts. In this chapter, there's going to be 2 personas mentioned. First one is going to be Cindy, who is a rep on Wanda's team. And then her supporting member will be Michelle, who's actually Cindy's BDR. In the third chapter here, we're going to switch hats and focus on AI from the customer service perspective. So we're going to look at how Einstein can help Cirrus customers. We're going to be focusing on Omega Inc. here, solve their needs quickly without actually having to interact with a human. At this point of the demo, we're also going to switch up a little bit and show some of the newer Einstein generative AI features. So there will be 2 use cases that we're showing essentially for this service. The second one will be a customer reaches out to a Cirrus support rep. The Cirrus support rep connects, and then they utilize some generative service replies and case summarization. The personas that we're going to be focusing on there are Lauren Bailey and Jacob Demo, and they're both contacts at Omega Inc. And then finally, we're going to wrap with our final, probably most impactful chapter, which focuses solely on Einstein generative AI features. And our last persona that we're going to be focusing on in this chapter is actually myself, Jake Shively. So I'm very excited for a demonstration today. Let's go ahead and dive right in. So for this part of the demo, again, like I mentioned, I'm going to be logged in as Wanda Wilson. So Wanda leads a team of 6 reps, and they're the best reps at her company, which is Cirrus. We're going to be focusing on one of her reps primarily for this part of the demo, and that's Vanessa. So at the end of the quarter is approaching, and Wanda really likes to get a good handle on her team's business and hopefully gain some insights into the team's open opportunities and possibly some areas where she can help. Unfortunately, her team's metrics aren't looking as strong as they typically do, and Wanda wants to do everything she can do to help her team out. As a sales leader, she likes to review all this information, understand where she is from day to day, but then she also likes to do direct brainstorming sessions with each of her team members. Really the main goal of that is to help them close their largest deals. And today, Wanda is actually doing a brainstorming session with Vanessa. So let's go ahead and see how that goes. Wanda starts off by looking at all business and then her team's business so that she can get a good understanding of where Vanessa stands in this kind of pack. Once Vanessa and Wanda are together, they're going to go ahead and look in the sales cockpit. Here's where they're able to get a good view and a quick view of Vanessa's open opportunities, and they can drill into the deals here that have the highest level of priority. So with it being close to the end of the quarter, like we were mentioning, Wanda's probably most concerned about the deals that are in this commit stage. So I'm going to go ahead and click into there. As they drill down, we can see the data in the dashboard is changing to reflect their actual selection. And we can see that Einstein is predicting that Vanessa is unfortunately going to lose 307K of the 459K, which raises a large red flag in Wanda's mind. She wants to drill down into some of this information and understand where she could possibly help provide some level of guidance. Vanessa mentions that one of the largest opportunities that she's working on and actually struggling with today is at Omega Inc. And she actually fears that she may lose this opportunity altogether. So the main thing is Wanda sees this opportunity displayed, the predicted outcome, and decides to dig in. At the bottom here, we can go in and view their account record. And the first thing that Wanda and Vanessa here are going to look at is predicted win and likelihood in the predicted days to close that is surfaced here by Einstein. So on the right-hand side, this area provides Wanda and Vanessa with the information that they need to understand why the score is where it is today and what they can do to help improve that overall. We see that Einstein is actually making a next best action recommendation here for Wanda and Vanessa to do to increase the probability of this opportunity closing. If we go ahead and accept this, we can see dynamically that there has been a change to the score in the account. So we actually went from 44 up to 63. So based off of the actions, dynamic motions, and suggestions that Einstein makes, we are increasing our predicted likelihood to win this opportunity. Next, Vanessa and Wanda are actually going to go ahead and look over at the account metrics, some of the details about Omega themselves, and they notice a steady decrease in pipeline. They also notice a big differential between their planned business versus actual business and the account health. And the account health here is really something that stands out and catches their eye as a concern that they could continue to go down that negative path and this opportunity fall into that as well. So what they're going to do here is go ahead and look at Einstein account management. And what they can see here is all information on all of their different accounts. What I'm going to do is go in here and actually filter by Omega, so we can see those specific opportunities in that account itself. And with this, we also have the ability to see any potential white space that exists with all of Cirrus's customers. But like I mentioned, in this specific use case, we're going to be focusing here on Omega. So if we go back and we click on Omega Systems here, we get some good level detail about what is actually happening within this account so that we have the ability to understand why their account is at this current health score. So we can see all the account details as they align to Omega, and we can even see information such as overview, account engagement, pipeline available, any service, use cases that they may have, and then any details behind how this account score became to be. We can see that one of the areas that helps improve this account health is actually communication, and a phone call suggested as a best interaction channel. So they quickly go back to this engagement tab and notice that there is a steady decrease in phone interactions. Vanessa then decides that this is the perfect time to call into one of the key contacts at Omega Inc., Lauren Bailey, and set up actually a business process review where they can essentially increase the account health, find where there could be new potential ACV, help finalize the deal, and all speak intelligently based off of the information that Einstein has been provided. So at the end of the week, let's just quickly fast forward. Vanessa made a call, spoke with Lauren Bailey, and she got everything connected. She has a business process review aligned. Now they're ready to take the next steps into increasing that account health. Vanessa says, Wanda, would you mind please listening to this call and providing any coaching details or anything that I may have missed? Wanda says, absolutely. And she goes ahead and she transfers over to her team's call recordings and finds that call that Vanessa was referring to. So if we go down and search, we can find this call that Vanessa was referring to. And she can view the transcript here. So within this window, she's able to listen to the call, create annotations, and view the overall transcript of the call here without sitting down and having to listen to the whole thing. Einstein also provides a call summary that highlights customer impression, the call summary itself, and any steps or action items that may have come from the call, as well as any feed from chatter. So this allows Wanda to receive critical insight into her team's interactions and also is enabling Vanessa to listen proactively on each of her calls and be engaged without the fear of having to miss any details. So I know we went through a lot in that first chapter, and I just want to take a minute for everyone to quickly digest what we talked about. So in that short part of the demo, Salesforce Einstein enabled Wanda to leverage her team's data to identify any potential risk within an opportunity or their pipeline, remedy any said potential risk, and then help increase overall account score, all while improving the productivity and streamlining internal efforts. Last point to mention is Wanda was also able to provide invaluable coaching to her sales rep, Vanessa, which in this case, we can all say luckily ended up in a closed won opportunity. So now I know I went through a lot of different things, especially in this kind of first part of the demo. So now what I want to really focus on specifically is tools that can also help ensure that your reps are utilizing their time properly and ensuring that they're focusing on the proper leads, accounts, opportunities to help them find success. So everybody here, one thing I want to mention is, we are logged in as Cindy. So Cindy is another rep on Wanda's team. Cindy is a very, very organized person, and she works to keep all of her accounts and all of her main opportunity data all in one place. So every rep on the team works a little bit differently, as I mentioned, and she's hard at work prioritizing her opportunities for end of quarter. Her dashboard has a breakdown of all the different accounts, opportunities, cases, essentially everything that she needs to run her book of business. Along with this data, AI is providing us with some key metrics and information around the actual account itself so that we can see things like when is this opportunity going to close based off of the time that we predicted as opposed to what Einstein is predicting us. So this gives us a lot of information immediately upon logging in. Before we actually dive into Cindy's opportunities, I want to mention again that Cindy is incredibly collaborative and she works hand in hand with her BDR and actually likes to look at the upcoming lead lists. So early in the morning, Cindy and her BDR, Michelle, were just talking about any potential opportunities or new leads that may be coming in. So because Cindy and Michelle share this book of leads, Cindy can actually access this lead, which they were talking about, Kelsey, and learn more about this potential project. So when Cindy clicks on the Einstein tab here, she's presented with the Einstein lead score. And you might wonder, how is this lead score actually calculated and what does it mean? So Einstein lead scoring actually analyzes standard as well as custom fields attached to the lead object. And this allows your admins to either include or exclude fields that are not productive for your predictive environment. Then Einstein analyzes the different predictive models like logistic regression, random forest, and naive biases to select the best one based off of your sample data set. So models are updated monthly and the most recent 6 months of lead conversion data to make sure that your predictions are the most accurate for all of your leads. These leads are also scored every hour using the latest model. So if you have anything that changes with your leads, that will be rescored within the next hour. So with knowing all of that, Cindy can feel confident knowing that the score in Einstein is helping make the best recommendation based off of factual data, that this is most likely a lead that they want to pursue. So now that Cindy's kind of checked off that part of her job, she wants to go ahead and transition over into her main opportunities. When she transitions over into her opportunities, we can see the main one that she's been working with here is an opportunity through NiSource. She's been working for quite some time and is actually one of her big bet accounts. So she wants to make sure she's sharp on this opportunity. We can see again, Einstein is providing this this opportunity score at the top. Opportunity scores are built specifically for each customer and organization, which ensures that your models are tailored to your specific business model. So opportunity scores are based off of record details, historical changes, and related activities of the opportunity as they relate directly back to said account. So information about the account's owner, such as yearly win rates, is also calculated into this formula. And for each opportunity score, Einstein shows the factors that contributed to these as well as positively and negatively. Models are updated again every 10 days in this use case. So you make sure you have the most accurate predictions for all of your accounts and opportunities. Again, with all this information, Cindy can feel completely confident that the opportunity score is accurate, knowing that Einstein is taking into account all of the critical pieces of this account, the opportunity, and any hierarchy that may exist. To the right here, we have the Einstein Discovery tab. Einstein Discovery is essentially augmenting your business intelligence with statistical models and machine learning to identify, surface, and visualize insights into your business data. So Einstein is predicting, I believe it's 85 days to close here based off of the lead scores, which can even be shown here. And there's a few tips that help you improve that statistic as well. Like I showed in the previous slide, we had the ability to make a Einstein next best action. That's something you can embed here as well with Discovery, so that you can actually take these how to improve section and enable them with a simple click. So with a few clicks again, Cindy was able to gain invaluable knowledge that's actually going to help her achieve success in her business, ensure that her time is spent wisely, focusing on the right accounts and leads, and most importantly, it's going to help her company grow. So let's take another quick pause and reflect on some of the benefits of Einstein that Cindy took advantage of in moving through this chapter. Einstein enabled Cindy to prioritize her time by displaying recommendations based off of her top accounts, upcoming leads, and increase the probability of win and interaction rate. And at the end of it, she has an overall better grasp on all of her accounts. So up to this point, again, like I mentioned, we spent a lot of time focusing on tools that can help the sales team sell more effectively, understand the prospects that are coming in, and eventually close more deals. But what about AI solutions? Oh, go ahead, Forrest.
Jake, yeah. So before we move on to service, we did have one question from the group. Is the untapped opportunity within accounts based on what the rep said were possibilities within the account, or some other objective data?
I apologize. I'm going to need you to repeat that. The audio cut out there for a second.
Is the untapped opportunity within the accounts based on what the rep said were possibilities within the account, or some other more objective data pertaining to the first module?
So it's a little bit of both. So it's going to take into account what your reps are saying as well as that kind of statistical data. So it's a little bit of a combination of both. I can definitely take that question offline, provide some more documentation as well if that works.
Cool. Thank you.
Of course. Like I mentioned, we spent a lot of time focusing on tools that can help internal teams sell more effectively. Let's go ahead and see what different Einstein tools are available for end customers. And we're actually going to be focusing on bots in this use case. So do we remember we quickly made a reference to a customer earlier, Lauren. Lauren and her company, Omega Inc., are currently having an issue with one of the products that they purchased through part of their partnership with Cirrus. So they're actually missing part of one of the tools, and they need to do a possible break fix and look into warranty. So she decides to log on the Cirrus website, and she finds a chat button at the bottom. She clicks on that, and when she starts, she's presented with a few options that Einstein has surfaced specifically for her. So we can see that there's cases, orders, troubleshooting, knowledge articles, appointments, all these different things are available. But maybe she just wants to say free text that she's chatting about warranty and repairs. What happens immediately is, What happens is we're going to pull in information here based off of a knowledge article that says we offer satisfaction, guaranteed repairs for warranty, so on and so forth. From here, it's then giving me the next best recommendation of what I should do. And in this situation, what I'm going to do is create an appointment. So again, we're missing a critical part. So I'm going to have somebody come and repair this. Upon repairing it, I can say this is for my backup battery. What type of work do we need to perform? A break fix. Going to ask me, when would you like to schedule this appointment? as soon as possible. So what's happened is Lauren Bailey has logged into the account. She's been provided with all the information that she needs specifically to understand how she can find a resolution to her problem, and then is even offered here with an upsell as well as details about the appointment that have been created. All of this was done completely through a bot without any human intervention. So like we're mentioning, utilizing next best action, utilizing this bot technology is really allowing these end customers to self-serve in the best manner possible. So with a few clicks, Lauren has her appointment scheduled and Einstein has deflected another easy to solve customer issue. The next member of Omega Inc. that I want to talk about is actually Jacob. And Jacob is Lauren's right-hand person when it comes to submitting cases and interfacing with support on things that are non-active or non-recently closed deals. Lauren reaches out to Jacob to let him know that they recently received their turbine battery from Cirrus, but it is missing a critical connection cable. So Jacob decides to log in on the site and start a chat as well. Upon Jacob submitting this, we're actually going to go into Salesforce and make our customer service rep available. And then we're going to submit this case and start chatting. So in the background, we're finding the appropriate agent for Jacob to chat with. And it's, again, presenting me with the information very much like we saw on the previous screen, where we can read a knowledge article, view recent orders, work with cases. Again, all of this is completely configurable. But for this demo, what I really want to do is chat with a live person. So what's happening is they're transferring me to an agent, and I'm going to accept this chat. In accepting this chat, immediately as the agent, I'm provided with the information here on the subject of the case. I can also see the chat history on the left-hand side. And what I'd like to pull your attention to is the service replies on the right-hand side being provided by Einstein. So Einstein is taking this information using generative data and grounding to make sure that these answers going back to Jacob are contextual and make sense for this person. So as we can see here, these service replies are being recommended, and I have the ability to either post, edit, or mention that these are not helpful. Based off of the different information that is being chatted back and forth here, that will change based off of the response. So, hi, what can I do for you today? Let's go back to Jacob at Omega. I am missing a critical connection cable for our battery. When this message is received, again, Einstein is taking that response, running it through a generative tool, and understanding what the best response back is here. If I say maybe this is not a helpful response, that's going to go in, not make that recommendation to me. And then maybe I want to actually use this response and edit it a little bit. So as the actual rep, this is taking the time off of my plate of having to look up knowledge articles, having to use macros, constant things that I'm doing in my day-to-day to essentially just improve efficiency. So let's kind of fast forward through this. Let's say that this case has been completed. Jacob has resolved his resolution, and this rep is about to close out the case. Upon ending this case, they're going to end the chat. And again, I want to pull your attention over here to this case summarization point. This is another powerful tool because it's allowing the actual representative here from Cirrus to create this case summarization, which may have taken them 15, 20 minutes in the past, where they have to look up details, pull information into parts that may be important for this case summary. Essentially what Einstein is doing here is taking all of the data out of the conversation that's already been had, is creating a summary, description of the issue, and resolution as well. All of this information, which would take a customer service representative, like I mentioned, 15 to 20 minutes to fill this information in and conjugate it all into one view, is now simply done by clicking save. All this information can be updated, changed, and you can provide and receive multiple Einstein recommendations for every single summarization that you create. So once finally we've gone through both of these things, Lauren and Jacob were able to receive the support necessary to get their issues resolved with very little human intervention. And that is once again very much thanks to Einstein. Even though during this chapter, Jacob did interact with a customer representative, that was very much still just utilizing the power of Einstein. So they're able to get their problem solved. Einstein is able to suggest recommendations based off of common customer use cases and generative data to ensure that Cirrus's customers are as happy as possible and that their customer service reps are as efficient as humanly possible. Now, there is one final user that I want to introduce everyone to from Cirrus, and this person is actually the top sales rep at Cirrus. He's efficient, and the way that he navigates Salesforce data and knows exactly where to go is as polished as can be. And that sales rep, his name's Jake Shively. So let me show a little bit about how that works. When I log into Salesforce for the day, I like to keep my home screen as streamlined as humanly possible so I can see all of my important data in one snapshot view. One of the most important powerful tools that I utilize is Salesforce Einstein Assistant, also known as Copilot. So in this solution, I have the ability to ask Einstein in free-form text to provide me with data that I need to help sell. What I'm going to do here is actually go in and ask for a list of my top accounts. I'm typing in top accounts. Einstein's going to go ahead and look through my different accounts and find what is my top account based off of total sales. We can see here that they're recommending Omega Inc. So I'm going to go ahead and click into that account. As we can see, Einstein is helping direct me to the information that I need and helping me service it at the very, very easiest way. Maybe upon looking at this account, I don't have enough details. I don't want to go searching through all this different level of information. Maybe I'd like to get a little bit more information about Omega than what's in Salesforce. What I can do here is say, can you tell me about this account? What's happening is Omega's taking the information, or excuse me, Einstein is taking the information that we already know about Omega Inc., but then is also taking information external from Salesforce. So as you see here, recent news, Omega has introduced an ambitious plan for further expansion into the US. So this is allowing me as a sales rep to understand that this could be an area for me to reach out to one of the main contacts there, get in touch with them, help push this US expansion opportunity so that it can benefit both of us. I can even take this description that Einstein had completely generated for me and add that into the description field if I'd like to. And each time I find this information, I can re-update any field in Salesforce that I would like to. So following along with our story, we understand that there's expansion into the US market. Let's go ahead and look at the top opportunities for this account. It would be good if I could spell opportunities still. And then typing in top opportunities, what's going to reference is the two top opportunities that I have currently on this account. The US expansion, which is great. That's the one I really want to be focusing on, as well as another add-on business. And I can decide how many different records I'd like to surface here. I just like to surface my top ones with the highest ACV value. So when I go ahead and view this opportunity, I can, again, get a lot of different information about the opportunity itself. Maybe one of the things I want to do is actually reach out to a main contact here so I can introduce myself or keep our conversation going from a previous conversation. I'm going to ask Einstein Assistant for the key contacts on this account. What are going to happen is they're going to go ahead and show here are the top accounts as they associate to the US expansion initiative. And one's Lauren Bailey. I can go in here and quickly view her account or her contact information, get any details on her that I may need to be able to craft a response back to her or an email. Or what I can do is query Einstein to go ahead and draft an email for me. So what this is doing is taking all the information on Lauren Bailey, understanding all the information about the opportunity, the account, the news, and the history that we're saving here, and generating an email back to her. If I decide I'd like a less formal email, I can go ahead and do that simply by requesting Einstein do it. And then finally, once this is created, what I can do is add this to Composer, an email composer. So if I want to go here, update anything, maybe make it a little bit more personal, maybe add a link or a picture or something of that nature, I can do that as well. As well as if I want to reach out on any other type of email draft prompt, I can do that and create that in Salesforce as well to be my landing page and essentially my area to draft any email based off of grounding information on account, opportunity, contact. So again, with a few simple clicks in text prompts and forums, I was able to receive all the data that I needed to work my top account, find the top opportunities associated with my account, as well as the top contacts and even reach out to them. So with all of this information in streamlined fashion, there is truly no wonder that I am the top sales rep at Cirrus just due to this level of efficiency. To think about all the time it would have taken to collect that level of detail as opposed to asking this prompt is astronomical. So Einstein is really allowing both users, internal and external, to harness the power of the data that exists in Salesforce today to make your business critical decisions. And at this point, I think it's going to be a good time to actually transition back over to Patrick to talk about some of those metrics specifically in terms of efficiency and how Einstein applies to that solution.
Great. Yeah. Thanks, Jake. I will kick this back over to this. All right, I'm pulling my screen up again here. So want to go through a few of the use cases we've seen in real world scenarios with some of our clients. Some of the various things being with like Einstein lead scoring. We've seen a 30% increase in lead conversions. So that really is helping the BDRs, the inside sales teams. Once there's a score on all the leads, creating a list view to prioritize those leads based on that score. Now, rather than kind of having a shotgun approach to how you approach leads, your inside sales reps or BDRs can be targeting the leads that are interacting with you the most, especially the use case we had, or this specific client had Marketing Cloud account engagement, Pardot, and it, based on some of the web form or the form fills, the click-through rates on emails, things like that, those can be fed into your lead data, which then can be used to score them. And, if your BDRs and your inside salespeople are interacting with people that are interacting with your webinars, your emails, your web forms, they're most likely more to convert because they're interested, rather than somebody that's just constantly deleting emails or not paying attention to emails or not interacting with you. So that made that helped those BDRs get more efficient and convert leads faster. The next one being the Einstein bots. We saw a 60% case deflection for the client that we were working with. It was a large manufacturing client. They had several portals that were custom built, not within Salesforce, that they consolidated into a single portal. It was mostly B2B type portals for their B2B clients. And then they had actually a front end bot that was also for their B2C clients that, based on the knowledge articles, it was helping deflect the cases about 60%. This is exactly the use case I was talking about earlier, where that customer service team then repurposed a lot of its agents to really write, better articles, find out why the other 40% weren't answered, the other cases that weren't being deflected to the bot, why they still wanted to chat with a human. Sometimes humans like to chat with humans, so sometimes that's just the case. But it was also allowing them to look through, were there constant use cases or constant questions that were being asked of the bot that the bot couldn't answer properly. They were reconfiguring the bots in some ways. There's ways that you can have a generic bot that you're almost just kind of searching your knowledge article or asking a question to, or there's kind of key buttons that you can put in that are, maybe really kind of directed things that you might want to have chatbot targets. Like, so if you're trying to upsell somebody, you might want to have some of those sales features be more the buttons that you're doing, where the support side would be more the questions that are a little bit asked and not maybe as much of a call to action. We've also worked with a project recently with CRM Analytics, where it was targeted at a membership-based client, an organization. They specifically wanted to look at their at-risk members, the members that were churning. Of those members that were churning, we targeted those members. We found out why they were churning, helped to give insights through some next best action type scenarios of what the sales teams could do to help them prevent the those churning customers. It led to a 20% reduction in the churned customers, which was a huge win for this customer. They basically didn't see the churn of their members anymore, or as many of them. So now they can continue to look at why other members are churning. So it was a great win for them. I'm going to the next slide here. Just wanted to go through, a little bit of the Einstein roadmap, where we are, how we've got here, kind of what we talked about today, what's in the future. A lot of the pieces that have been brought up to point are mostly around and before, the 2022 timeframe. Things like recommendation builder, Einstein search, bots we're talking about today, prediction builder. All these things are readily available in Salesforce. These are kind of the topics we were talking about today. They can really help your team. They're easy to implement. We can help with those implementations, help turn those on, really get value out of those quickly and see, metrics like we just talked about, really changing your organization fast and now. Some of the pieces that are coming in the future are all around the generative AI, the large language models. Some of these are already, like I mentioned, production ready. Some of those are still, as you can see, in the future and to come. There's going to be a lot more discussions around AI in the future. So try to get ahead of as what you can now and try to get on top of things that are already existing now. So next question would be, how do you get started with this? So Salesforce has a Einstein readiness assessment tool. I'll drop this in the chat right here, actually. And it kind of talks about how you can get ready for this. What are the things that you can do in your organization right now? There we go. I just put that link to that in the chat so you can have it. How you can, prepare your data, what things you can start doing in your environment right now. This will be really important to get started on your journey here with using Einstein for both the machine learning side and the generative AI side. Getting that clean data is really what you need to be focusing on. And then making sure there's a strategy to roll it out, release it, making sure the Einstein scores, as Jake was showing some of the call outs, the next best actions, they're in places on the screens, places that are on the account level, on the opportunity level, places where your teams are going to get to work. You're really making sure that they have those actions right there where they're looking. So just to wrap up, as I mentioned, we're Salesforce partners, we're implementation partners, we're here to help. Everything that Jake showed is very possible in Salesforce right now. A lot of clients we work with just aren't using the features or don't have them released and rolled out. I guess that's the majority of what I had. I'll drop my email and my LinkedIn in the chat as well, so everybody has it if you want to reach out. If you have any further questions, follow-ups, anything like that, feel free to let me know.
Yeah, thanks, Patrick. Appreciate that. As a follow-up, as I mentioned, we'll make sure to share the recording here today, as well as the slides that we walked through. And then we really encourage everyone to check out the readiness assessment for Einstein, which will really give you a good indication of where to sort of focus to get started with Einstein features. As you mentioned, there's probably some really low-hanging fruit for a lot of our clients to take advantage of that today. So hopefully the goal of this presentation was to really contextualize that and give you a sense of where you can get started. So I would encourage you to check out the readiness assessment, as well as just connect with your Salesforce account executive to kind of investigate what you have access to right away, where you might need to dedicate resources, and then they can help point you in the right direction. But really appreciate the time today. Appreciate Patrick and Jake running through this. And we will send out these resources as a follow-up, but feel free to touch base with your account executive one-on-one if you have specific questions. So thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you all.